If you're a school leader, you know you're fighting a battle on multiple fronts, right? Every single day. So today, we're going to look at a tool called AlloFlow. But here's the thing. This isn't just another piece of software. We're going to look at it as a strategic platform, something that's really designed to tackle your biggest challenges head on.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into the core challenges that schools are facing today. Then we'll introduce what the AlloFlow ecosystem is all about, how it helps your teachers and, of course, your students. And then we'll get to the really juicy part, the data, the standards alignment, the accountability, all the stuff that really lets you take your school to the next level.
All right, let's dive right in. Look, if you're a school administrator, your job probably feels like this constant three-front battle. You're trying to support your staff, meet the needs of all your different learners, and on top of all that, there's this relentless pressure for accountability.
And that really boils down to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How in the world are you supposed to solve teacher burnout, student differentiation, and standards compliance all at the same time? It can honestly feel like a no-win situation, where if you focus on one, the others start to slip.
Okay, so let's break this down a bit more. The complexity is just huge, right? Your teachers are totally overwhelmed. We're asking them to create these super personalized lessons for every student, and the whole time they're under this microscope of accountability. But you know what makes it all 10 times harder? The tools we give them are all over the place. They don't talk to each other, and that creates these data silos that make it almost impossible to see the big picture across your school.
So yeah, that's the problem. Fragmentation. The solution isn't just another app. It's about thinking differently, with a unified, intelligent ecosystem that's built to fix these problems from the ground up.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, that's the old way, the reality for so many schools. A total patchwork of different tools that leads to burnout and just chaos. But on the right, that's the goal, a single unified platform that brings everything together. We're not just talking about a new workflow here. This is a fundamental shift. It's about turning that teacher burnout into real empowerment and turning those useless data silos into insights you can actually use.
So what exactly is AlloFlow? Well, the name itself kind of gives it away. Adaptive levels, layers, and outputs. But here's the most important part. It's not just tech for tech's sake. It's built on a solid foundation, the principles of Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. And that's a research-backed framework all about creating flexible learning environments right from the very start. And this quote really nails the philosophy behind it all. It's about flexible learning options for whole student education. The whole idea is to get away from that one-size-fits-all approach and build a system that can truly support every single student. Okay, this next part is absolutely crucial. Because let's be real, any tech you bring into your school has to serve your most valuable resource, your teachers. If it doesn't make their lives easier, if it doesn't make them more effective, then it's dead on arrival, period. So let's talk about real-world impact. See this number? 13. With just one click, the full pack feature in AlloFlow can generate up to 13 different standards-aligned resources. Think about that from an administrator's point of view. That's not just a massive time saver for your teachers, it creates a baseline of quality and consistency from classroom to classroom that would be almost impossible to manage otherwise. And it goes way beyond that one feature. We're talking about AI that builds IEP and 504 accommodations right into the lesson plans, rubrics that are automatically generated based on the criteria you set. And then there's the AI auto-grader, which is a total game changer. It doesn't just spit out a score, it gives students specific, constructive, glow and grow feedback. It automates one of the most time-consuming parts of a teacher's job, and kids get feedback faster. It's a win-win. Now, for any administrator who lives in the world of compliance and paperwork, this feature is huge. The platform literally generates specific, actionable IEP accommodations that you can copy and paste directly into official documents. This just streamlines everything. It ensures you're following the plan, and it gives you a perfect digital paper trail. Okay, so we've seen how this empowers teachers. But that's just step one, right? The ultimate goal is to engage every single learner. This is about making accessibility and differentiation systemic, part of the DNA of the school, not just an afterthought. And the toolkit for students is incredibly diverse. You've got adventure mode, which basically turns lessons into these cool, immersive games. Level text can instantly adjust any reading passage to different levels on the fly. Word Sound Studio is there to build those foundational phonics skills. And the Accessibility Hub has things like dyslexia-friendly fonts and color overlays built right in, so they're always available for any student who needs them. AlloFlow also gets that learning isn't just a 9-to-3 thing that happens in a classroom. It creates these different modes for everyone involved. Teachers obviously get all the powerful creation and data tools. Students get a much simpler, cleaner interface focused on their activities. But here's what's really cool. There's a parent mode. It gives parents a clear window into their child's progress and even suggests things they can do to help at home. That helps you build that home-school connection that we all know is so critical.
All right, now we're getting to the part that, from a leadership perspective, makes this kind of platform a must-have. We're moving away from just hoping our curriculum is aligned to actually guaranteeing it. And we're going from just collecting mountains of data to using it in a way that's truly strategic. Seriously, just stop and think about this for a second. What would it mean for your school, for your district, if you could guarantee, with proof, that every lesson was aligned to your state standards before it was even taught?
And here's how simple the process is. Your teachers, or you, set the standards you're targeting right up front. Then, as the lesson content is created, you can run an AI-powered alignment report. Bam! It instantly shows you what's covered well and, just as important, where the gaps might be. And all that data flows right back to the teacher dashboard. It's a perfect, seamless loop. Plan, instruct, assess, and adjust.
And the report itself is incredibly clear. This gives you a verifiable, auditable trail. It doesn't just give you a check mark and say a standard is covered. No, it points to the exact evidence. This part of the lesson plan, this quiz question, this specific activity. This is the kind of documentation that makes things like curriculum mapping and accreditation reports so much easier. And this is where data gets really, really powerful. The dashboard doesn't just show you that 75% of the class got a question wrong. It analyzes the patterns in those wrong answers to pinpoint common misconceptions. So a teacher doesn't just see that students are struggling, they see why. And that lets them do targeted reteaching right away. You're moving your school from just collecting data to being truly data-driven.
So let's pull all these pieces together and look at the big picture for your school. This is really about building a completely new capacity for excellence.
Ultimately, the vision is simple but so powerful. A school community that is fully aligned, genuinely data-informed, and where every single person, from teachers to students, feels empowered and supported. Look, a platform like this is built to solve those three big headaches: teacher burnout, differentiation, and accountability. Not as separate problems, but as one interconnected system. So the real question to ask yourself is, what could this level of strategic clarity do for your school community?